Welcome to Pluralsight. You're watching Architecture Overview and Deployment Options. In this module, we'll cover an architecture overview of the entire vCloud Automation Center deployment. So we've talked about the individual pieces. I know I've shown you that slide a lot, which has the overall architecture and how each of the components fit in, but now we'll look at it holistically of the entire deployment overview. We'll look at component and service locations, where they live, the communication that happens, and also some best practices on placement of those. We'll also talk about deployment options. So, vCloud Automation Center can be deployed in a few different ways, including a simple install where a lot of the components are centralized to their own virtual machines and embedded databases, or you can do a more distributed architecture when we're talking about higher user counts, larger environments, when it makes sense to separate components for performance or redundancy reasons. So we'll look at the differences between the two. We'll also look at how this integrates into an entire enterprise vSphere deployment. So vCloud Automation Center is important, but it's really only one piece of the vSphere ecosystem puzzle. And therefore, I wanted to show you what it looks like and where the different pieces fit within the layers of the vSphere product set. We'll look at some sample networking topologies. So networking obviously is a big component of this and where virtual machines are, the different communication paths. So we'll look at some samples of that. We'll also look at backup and replication integration. So one of the cool things about vCloud Automation Center, and remember, it's API driven, so it can integrate really with whatever source can provide us with those APIs, those integrations. Therefore, a great thing to integrate within the service catalog are backup and replication policies. And finally, we'll talk about multi-tenancy design. We've mentioned it before, and this is really at the heart of what vCloud Automation Center does best. It provides that self-service catalog to different organizations that allows for multi-tenant design, whether it's internal consumers, business units, departments, or even external customers. Say you're a service provider running this. We'll look at some best practices around the multi-tenant design and how to get the best out of that. So let's get started.